full year since schools across the state closed in an effort to protect the health and safety of students and school communities amid the coronavirus global pandemic. And what a year it's been. The CDC called on schools to develop a pandemic plan last February, and just days later, we saw the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in Placer County. Within a few more days, we experienced our first loss, as the first reported COVID death in California was in our own backyard. Schools moved quickly, and within 2.5 weeks, we shifted to distance learning. During those first months, Placer County schools distributed more than 35,000 Chromebooks and hotspots. We prepared more than 400,000 nutritious meals. Teachers spent hundreds of hours preparing distance learning plans and leading Zoom classrooms. PCOE took action to ensure those working in essential services had access to safe and reliable childcare options. My office provided support for our at-risk student populations, including homeless and foster youth. We even launched 2 new websites to support distance learning for students with disabilities and professional development, technical assistance, and coaching for teachers. All of this within a matter of days and weeks. As the summer approached, the state issued guidance outlining safety precautions and considerations for schools. Administrators established reopening task forces, obtained and secured PPE, and had collaborative discussions with labor groups, all planning for in-person learning for the fall. Then, in July of 2020, the governor announced that schools could not begin in-person learning in any county that is on the state's watch list. Placer County schools were forced to open in distance learning. My office, in partnership with Placer County Public Health, school district superintendents, and charter school leaders, moved mountains to successfully reopen Placer County schools for in-person instruction. I rallied public health and school officials for weekly, sometimes daily, conference calls to discuss safety protocols, instructional models, and student wellness resources. We navigated confusing, nebulous, and ever-changing state guidance, not once, but 4 times. And my office spearheaded the opening of COVID-19 school testing sites to ensure symptomatic and exposed school employees and students had access to the testing recommended by the California Department of Public Health. Because of all these efforts, Placer County schools successfully reopened for in-person learning in some form in fall of 2020. We were one of the first counties of our size to reopen. It hasn't been easy, and at times it's been frustrating and emotional. But through it all, our school communities have demonstrated versatility and strength. My appreciation and admiration for Placer County has only grown. From the beginning of the pandemic, I made a commitment that I would work diligently and collaboratively to reopen our schools and keep them open while keeping the health and safety of our school communities at the forefront. I have been very vocal at the state level, advocating that they should not be harming schools that are open, which ultimately harms our students. I have met with regional, state, and federal representatives to advocate for Placer County schools, and I have fought to open vaccination opportunities to educators, while other counties are still weeks behind. Placer County was among the first to begin vaccination for Phase 1B Tier 1, which includes those working in education and childcare. Through our collaborative efforts, I'm pleased to share that every school employee in Placer County has had an opportunity to receive a COVID-19 vaccine. But the fight for our students is not over. As we look to the future, we must continue to advocate for policies and guidance from the state that allows Placer County schools to continue to safely operate in person for the remainder of this year and into the fall. We must have that guidance early so that we can plan together what learning will look like for the next school year. While there are still many unknowns for our future, what we do know is that we are committed to keeping Placer County gold in education.